All right. All right. I can see some reactions dropping. Hi, everyone. So today, basically, we're here to discuss a very, very important topic on why Scrum Masters and modern project managers, right? So this is a topic that's been in the space for a while, and people have asked a lot of questions pertaining to this exact topic. Do Scrum Masters actually earn more, or do project managers earn more? So there have been a lot of debates in the space about the exact thing that is happening with respect to these exact disciplines. And that's what we are here today to talk about, right? So, but before we continue, if today is your first time of joining of our sessions, just type a one in chat box so that we know that today is your first time. Amos, Joseph, Ju, Bento, Womis. If today is your first time of joining a session, just type a one in the chat box so that I will identify with you appropriately. Okay. Okay. I'm still waiting to see your reactions. We are still waiting for a couple of people to join us before we kickstart it fully. But for the meantime, let's try to engage each other personally and understand, the angle we are coming from. You can also type the place you're joining us from. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. And you can also, type your name and the location you're joining us from so that we can easily relate with you and understand you very, very well. All right, I can see the chat dropped by Amos and Bento. Today is their first time. Please, do you mind also, indicating the location you are joining us from so that I can easily, interact with you better? Hope you don't mind. Ebele from Beverly Hills. Amos from Port Harcourt. Fantastic. I'm still waiting to hear from others. Okay. I'm still waiting to hear from others. Womis, Bento, I want to hear from you. I want to hear the exact place you're joining us from. I want to hear whether today is the first time of joining us so that we know how to, navigate this exact session to fit your immediate need at the moment. All right. I'm not going to continue till you guys give me a comment. All right. Badagry. Okay. Bento Matthias from Badagry. Lydia from UAE. Fantastic one. You see, we have people across the globe that have joined us already. So while we keep waiting for others to join us in the session, we'll immediately kickstart. Hi, Chemeka. I can see that you joined us. Do you mind telling us where you're joining us from? And if today is the first time you're joining us on a session. All right. Hi, Chemeka. Today is going to be a sort of, one-on-one interaction where we'll get to understand each other better and try to move you and try to help you transition into the tech ecosystem, right? So that's the main thing that we are here to do today, tell you why Scrum Masters and modern project managers, and also try to also, help you transition into the tech ecosystem easily. Okay, hello, PHC. I believe PHC means Port Harcourt City. That should be in Nigeria as well. Fantastic one, Uche. Fantastic one. So here on the call with me, we are going to start immediately. You're going to hear amazing things from myself and from Josephine, who also joined me on this call today to facilitate and help tell you why Scrum Masters, and more than project managers in this current dispensation. So if you're just joining us right now, we are still in the introduction phase where we get to understand each other, where we get to know if today is the first time you're joining us and the location that you are joining us from. So if today is the first time of joining us, just kindly type in a one in the chat box and also drop your name and the location you're joining us from so that we can easily relate with each other and interact easily, right? So let's just try as much as possible to do that fast so that we can immediately kickstart this session. And as you are also, typing this in, my colleague Lydia has dropped a link in the chat box where you can put your details, put your attendance so that we can send you the recording of this session at the end of it, and also send you this exact slide that we are using for this session so that you can go through it, assimilate it, and understand everything that we have talked about today. So I'm still waiting to see if today is the first time we are joining so that I will know. Okay, I think the latest person that joined us is Ebunoloma Oluwa Chidema. Please just kindly tell us if today is the first time you are joining us and the location you are joining us from so that we can easily interact with you and make this sort of a one-on-one discussion. All right, Chidema and Ebunolowa, I'm waiting for you so that I can start this session immediately. All right, just tell me if today is the first time you're joining us and the location that you are joining us. Okay, Ekunoluwa is joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Chemeka is also joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. So is today the first time you're joining us on a session? Just clarify that so that we can immediately kickstart. It is approximately 10 minutes past 8 West African time. It's approximately 10 minutes past 8 West African time. So we are going to start immediately. Today is my first time of joining us. Fantastic one. So basically, I'm going to try to walk you through what analytics is and what we do here, right? So that you can easily relate and understand everything that we are going to talk about here today, right? So analytics is basically an educational technology company, that help Africans and the people of the Black community to, transition and learn skills that will help them break into the tech ecosystem, right? And our services range over data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, cybersecurity, Scrum Master, which is the main purpose of why we are here, Scrum Master, all right? And basically, we play in the entire data ecosystem, right? And we also have AI and machine AI engineering also coming up in the later months within the year. And our facilitators are people that come from top professional sectors, from McKinsey, from Amazon, from KPMG, from Deloitte, from across the globe, right? And these are fantastic people that have had a lot to deal with over their own journey into the tech ecosystem and everything that they've learned in the tech ecosystem. And the most important thing for you to know is that our courses are basically structured in a way that is more practical and tailored to your immediate understanding, right? So it's basically going to be tailored for you to be able to understand that, okay, these are things that you need to learn as a Scrum Master, and not really the theoretical aspect that we get to deal with in the basic classrooms. Here at Analytics, we give you case studies that is going to help you understand everything that a Scrum Master does and the tools that they use to also improve on their own dealings day by day. So continuing, I don't know whether you can still see my screen. These are Adeza and Efemena, and are the founders and co-founders of Tenalytics. And Adeza has more than a decade experience in the data analytics and data science role across UK, across US. And he also worked in Africa with Sahara Group as a data analyst. So his sector of experience spans across sports, professional services, energy, and automobile. And personally, Adeza have trained more than close to 10,000 participants, right? He's helped close to 10,000 participants transition from their normal job to the tech ecosystem. And on the right-hand side, we also have Efemena Iho, who is the co-founder of Tenalytics, right? Efemena has had quite an amazing journey, moving to the UK and making things happen, starting from Ireland, moving to UK, going to Canada, and currently he's still in Canada, right? And in all these roles, he's played significantly as a data scientist or as a data analyst, right? And he has more than 10 years experience in all these spaces. And he also, has experience in data science, data engineering, and power platform development. So these guys are actually the backbone behind analytics, and they're the ones that, help everybody. And the teams from across so many companies, Deloitte, Google, come together and help to do what they want the Blacks to do, right? These are people that have been in Europe, in Africa, and noticed that basically when you search anything on social media pertaining to tech videos, you're going to get videos from the Indians, right? So they came together and said, we need to start doing things that will help Blacks in the Black community, right? That's how Tenalytics came about, and that's how we've grown over the years. And also, today, the people that are going to be talking to you is basically myself. I'm Chukwuemeka, the CEO for Tenalytics, and I've functioned as a data analyst in the bank, in fintech, and I've played in the capital market as well. I've also served as a data protection officer in the bank as well as doing financial modeling and valuation for companies. So I have close to a decade experience in governance, risk, and control. We have used data to make and help businesses, settle in and grow very well. And I also have a fantastic, amazing senior Scrum Master with me here today. That is Josephine. I don't know, Josephine, do you want to unmute or say anything before I continue? Hi, Josephine. Are you there?
Actually, yes. Hi, Chukwuemeka. Good evening, everyone. I mean, from this side of town. Good evening. So it's good to be back here again and discussing Scrum. Hi, how you all doing? Well done. Please, you can
All
go
right.
ahead.
All right, thank you so much, Josephine. So Josephine is a senior Scrum Master in one of the largest fintech firms in Africa, and she's played quite an amazing role in helping the advancement of agile methodologies, right? She has close to 10 years, a decade experience in this exact space. She's been recognized for proficiency in Scrum methodologies, and she's a sought-after speaker when it has to do with things that pertains to agile. She has a proven track record of successful engagements in both the IT and educational sector. So please do well to try and look out for Josephine on social media, LinkedIn, and try and connect with her so that you are going to see the level of impact that Josephine is going to make in your life. All right, so moving forward, basically there are four main things that we're going to be discussing here today. Four critical things that we're going to be talking about. And number one amongst them is why you should choose a career as a Scrum Master, right? We are here to tell you, why do I actually need a career as a Scrum Master? So we've already gathered all the data out there, and we've made it possible for you to understand everything that you need to know relating to being a Scrum Master. And we're also going to help you understand where the opportunities are in tech, right? And number two thing you are going to learn today is how can you get started as a Scrum Master? And they will now make you understand why Scrum Masters actually earn more than project managers. You know, in these current dispensations, whenever people hear of project managers, there's this hype around it. But do project managers actually earn higher than Scrum Masters? Just stay tuned on the call. We are going to help you demystify this myth so that you understand clearly everything that you need to know and to help you make a decision, right? And number three thing that you're also going to know is we are going to tell you about our upcoming cohorts that starts on 2nd of March, and we are going to see tons of success stories. And by virtue of you being on this call, there is a special discount that exists for you, which we've personally curated and made it possible for you to be able to access this special discount that is going to help you advance your career. So basically, I want to ask us one important question. Everyone on the call, just give me your own responses. Why exactly do you want to choose a career as a Scrum Master? Or basically, if not a Scrum Master, why do you want to choose a career as a tech person? So let me see our comments so that I'll clearly understand, the angle that all of us are coming from. Why do you want to choose a career as a Scrum Master? So let me see the comments, all right? So I'm waiting for your comments, Amos. I'm waiting for your comment, Chidema, Chiamaka, Ebele, Ebunoluwa, Ayodele, Joseph, Olawale, Ore, Rara, Senator. Wow, fantastic. We have a senator in our midst today. That's an amazing thing. And Vivo and Womis. So why exactly do you want to choose a career as a Scrum Master? Or why do you want to choose a career in the tech space? Because by virtue of you being on this call, it means that you are either playing in the tech ecosystem already, or you are looking to transition to the tech ecosystem. So just type in the chat box why you want to do this. Okay, just maybe with a two sentences or maybe one sentence. Just tell me, or one word. Just tell me why you want to do this. All right, I'm still waiting. Are you sure you guys are hearing me? Because this place is too cold. Nobody's typing anything. Nobody's saying anything. I can't see anything in the chat box. Can anyone hear me? Hi, Adam, please confirm that you can hear me clearly. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Why is here so cold, guys? Why is it so cold? Why is here cold? Right, Chidema, Shemeka, Ebele, I'm going to, unmute everyone, and I'm going to ask you guys why here is so cold, right? If you cannot chat with me, if you cannot talk to me, I want to understand clearly why you want to transition, right? What's pushing you? What's the main reason why you want to, choose a career in the tech ecosystem as a Scrum Master? Why? So someone should send something in the chat box so that I will know that we can hear me clearly, or we don't want to transition to be a Scrum Master. Is that what you guys are telling me today? I've asked everyone to actually unmute, so I'm sure you got the notification to unmute and speak. So you are free to unmute and speak to me on anything, right? So I'm still waiting. Hi guys. Wow, this is too heartbreaking. This is too heartbreaking. What is going on? Lydia, please confirm again that you can hear me, because this is what means I can't hear you. Yeah, what means I'm asking, why do you want to choose a career as a Scrum Master? Like, what's pushing you to say, okay, I want to choose a career in the Scrum field? Or what's pushing you to say, I want to choose a career as a tech person? What? So talk to me. I want to hear it. Vivo, you want to speak? I know that may not be your name, but you can speak. Hi, Vivo. Wow. Anyone? Anyone want to tell me anything?
Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but someone already said for the money. But yeah, in this economy of this day, you need to diversify and have multiple options at this point.
Yeah, fantastic one, Vivo. Vivo wants to transition because of the money, and that is perfectly a valid reason, right? That's the motivating factor for Vivo. And also for Ebele, I know in the chat box she also mentioned money, right? So basically, the thing that is pushing Vivo, I'm sorry, I know Vivo is not your name. So do you mind, maybe typing your name in the chat box so that I don't keep calling you Vivo? All right. Okay, so basically what's pushing Ebele and others is money. And then Rara said, I don't know much about tech. I'm interested and ready to learn. Fantastic. We are here for you. And Womi's own is, I want to change my career path. Fantastic. Amazing reasons, right? Now, I want to walk us through, because before you can be able to say, I want to move from point A to point B, there has to be a motivating factor, right? That is pushing you to say, I want to move from where I am currently to the next point of where I want to be, right? And clearly, for Vivo, for okay, Brendan is the name correct. Thank you, Brendan. And for Bayero said, me too, I'm a public servant currently. I want to change career paths. Amazing. And there are things that basically push people to actually say, I want to do these things. And number one thing amongst them is great work-life balance, right? Possibly as a public servant, you might be working, going to the office physically to, do your functions. And you've said, oh, I want to do something differently this year. I want to be able to do something from my comfort, have time for my family. And that is why I'm transitioning, which is great work-life balance. That is your own motivating factor. Some people, it's because of the growing opportunities that, lies everywhere in the tech ecosystem, right? So because of it, they've said, I want to transition into the tech ecosystem. So you have different motivating factors that you're going to hold on to, that is going to keep you going at any point. And for others, basically, most of us do not have a tech career before we transitioned. I think Josephine read a course that is not even in the tech field, and today she's a senior Scrum Master in one of the foremost technological companies in Africa. And also, there may be, like someone mentioned, fantastic salary and benefit, right? There is this slogan that goes that tech is the new oil, right? And that is the truth because of the demand, the growing need of all these professionals. As the demand is increasing, so is something. All right, Samuel, I'm going to mute you because you are saying something different. And yes, I'm going to mute you as well. All right, thank you for that. For some, it's because of fantastic salary. That is why they want to, transition into this field. And for some people, they're easily moved because they want to make an impact. They want to be at the heart of innovation where they will tomorrow say, yes, I'm the person that built these products. It is because of me that this product is standing today. So they want to have that sense of fulfillment to be able to say, I am part of the team that made this happen. So that's basically, these are basic reasons why people want to, enter as a Scrum Master or transition into the tech ecosystem. And just stay tuned so I can demystify to you that Scrum Master is actually the easiest way to get into the tech industry, right? Put me anywhere. It is the easiest and most simple way to get into tech without any coding skill. You don't have to lift any coding, write any line of script, but you will function fully as a Scrum Master and also in amazingly well in this exact field. Now, there's been demand. Demand is growing unprecedented, right? The rate is drastically increasing. And the best time to actually get into tech is right now. So if you look at my screen, you're going to see a report from the World Economic Forum, right? This report, what World Economic Forum does is that they, analyze the economy, they look at the future and bring out the jobs that are going to grow in the next few years. And they also bring out the jobs that are going to decline in the next few years, right? So all the jobs on the left-hand side are jobs that are going to grow. The jobs on the right-hand side are the jobs that are going to decline, right? I want you to take a look at the jobs on the right-hand side. There's one job there that always gets my attention anytime I'm looking at this report, right? And this is this exact guy, product managers, right? If someone somewhere tells you today that product managers' demand is going to, decline in the next few years, are you going to believe it? I'm sure that you may doubt this to a higher extent, right? But from this report, from the analysis, is showing that product managers is going to decline in the nearest future. And I'm still going to tell you why this is going to decline, right? And it's partly linked because of the growth of Scrum Masters in this current dispensation. Now, still moving forward, still the jobs on the left-hand side, you're going to see project managers highlighted in red. And then you're also going to see financial analysts. But what we are critically going to discuss today is basically on these guys, right? Project managers. Everything that we're going to talk about today is hinged on this exact group of people that their job is going to grow in demand. Now, remember, inside project management, there are two main arms that are placed there, right? We have the waterfall and the agile. And the waterfall are basically project managers that are traditional project managers, as we have in our everyday life. Okay, I'm going to use Amos. Thank you, us, right? So our traditional project managers, that's the people that make use of waterfall, and we have the agile, the other arm that has to do with agile. And these are people that imbibe the Scrum methodologies to, make use of their everyday lives. And today, we're basically going to talk about this exact group of people. Most important thing to know is that project management is going to increase in demand, right? And then inside this project management, where is the demand actually tilting to? And that is why Josephine, as a senior Scrum Master, is here today to help us understand and demystify everything that we need to know regarding this role, project management. All right, let me take something in the chat box. Ore said, I'm a photographer and I've always wanted Angular challenge. Tech is major right now. I would like to play in the industry. However, I have no clear background. Yesterday, I joined the session. I got to know the various aspects of tech. The only one that I can probably afford now is Scrum because it's the most affordable according to your prices. Fantastic one, Ore. You're absolutely correct, right? Which is why I said initially that Scrum is the easiest and simplest way to get into tech at the moment with us because it's the cheapest according to the prices that you've seen, and it's also the only field that you get to enter without having any script writing skill, any coding skill, right? So let's continue, right? And we are going to look at a scenario, and this is where I'm going to bring in Josephine, who is a fantastic senior Scrum Master that have close to a decade experience in this exact field, if not more than a decade. Let me know on that plane, Josephine. Josephine, are you there?
I am. Hi, Chukwemeka.
All right, Josephine, welcome to the call. How are you doing today, Josephine?
I'm good. So, Chukwemeka, I noticed something. You asked everyone why Scrum, why did they choose Scrum? And you haven't asked me because, ask me so that I can tell you why.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, Josephine. So, Josephine, why did you decide to be a Scrum Master and even went ahead to advance to the, close to the apex senior Scrum Master? So, why did you do that?
One word, money. Money. Guys, let me not lie. Let's not lie. The money is good, yeah. Being a Scrum Master in the tech ecosystem, you might just want to do a little bit of check. Just go to LinkedIn and go to the job section, type Scrum Master, depending on the location that you're looking. to work. If you're in UK, Canada, wherever it is, see how much they pay Scrum Master. So if the money, tech money is sweet. I'm not even just going to lie. So, but yeah, that's my honest opinion. But aside the money, yeah, the money is the first thing. Then the second thing is that you're part of building great projects, projects that are value adding, projects that will change the lives of people. So basically, those are my reasons, but money comes first. All right, so I'll just dive straight to it here. Let's talk about scenarios. As a Scrum Master, okay, we're going to look at the scenarios. Are we talking about other things than going into Jira? What are we doing now?
All right.
Chukwemeka?
Yeah, basically, so we want to look at the scenario and then we can try to, build the product backlog for this exact 10 lang, which is the, product that we're trying to push into the market. That is a cutting edge language application that we've named 10 lang. Before we just, show people how we can make use of Jira to make these things come to life. And then we'll now tell them the other aspects of Scrum that has to do with daily Scrum, sprint planning, and the rest of them. Yeah. And then we can do with the exact reason why Scrum has earned more than these other guys, the project managers. Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. So I'll just go ahead to share my screen. Does that stop your own screen?
Yes.
So
yeah.
Dive right.
Yeah, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, that's fine. So please let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. So all right.
I can get out to the window.
So I'm going into Jira. So one of the tools, the project management tools that you're going to be using as a Scrum Master is there's a little bit of noise at the background. Okay. All right. So
yeah,
that's cool. So one of the all right. So while my screen is coming up, I'm going to just refresh so that it comes up. So one of the project management tools that you need to be familiar with as a Scrum Master is Jira. And that doesn't mean that's the only project management tool. There are a whole lot of them out there. We have Trello, we have Jira, we have Azure DevOps. Yeah. So, but what is the most popular one? Jira. So, but the tendency is that you go into an organization and they say, oh, this is what we're using. The good thing about understanding one project management is that it gives you a better advantage to know the rest. So a good example of this is the video conferencing tool that we're using. We're currently on Zoom as we speak, but that doesn't mean there are no other video conferencing tool. We have Google, we have MS Teams, Microsoft Teams, and then we have Zoom. So understanding of one, getting a hang of how one works gives you a better leeway to, doing the rest. So what we're going to be using today is Jira. And the project that we're working on is 10 lang. What is 10 lang? 10 lang is a project more like a mobile or applications that enable people to learn different languages. So we're structuring it just Nigerian languages. And the most popular languages, the three most popular languages we have in Nigeria is Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. So based on these three languages, we're going to populate our product backlog, push it into our sprint backlog, and most definitely start a sprint. So I'll be very quick with this, but let's see how this works. So that there is no Scrum Master and there is no project manager without project management. Just like Chukwemeka said, there has to be a project. There has to be something that you want to work on, something that you're looking forward to. And what is the difference between project manager and a Scrum Master is the fact that the project managers use a traditional methodology, which is the waterfall methodology, while the project manager uses waterfall, while the Scrum Master uses the agile methodology. And what's the buzz about agile Scrum Master? After all, project managers are okay. Why don't you stick to it? The fact is that things are changing. We're in a fast-paced world where everybody wants to do things fast, fast cars, fast food. You want to be able to go to the grocery store and pay for whatever you're picking, get your alerts immediately, while the seller is also getting confirmation of your payment. So everything wants to be done fast. So in a fast world, the methodology is different. We can't continue to use the traditional methodology because over time we've seen that there are pitfalls to this methodology. So let me dive right into the project. So we all agree that we're working on a project which is a 10 lang. So how does this thing work? Yes, there's a project called 10 lang. How do we even start? The first thing we want to do is to create an epic. Yeah. There's no time to dive into a whole this, but I'm just going to do a little bit of justice. So the first thing is that we have our product backlog and we want to create the requirements to build this application. What is our product backlog? Our product backlog is a to-do list. Our product backlog is a to-do list, more like when you're going to the grocery stores, you want to write down all the things that you okay, analytics. Okay, so you want to write down all the things that you want to get in the grocery shop. You want to buy pepper, onions, tomato, name it, whatever it is you want to buy in the grocery shop, you make a to-do list, and that list takes you to the supermarket, and with that, you're able to buy everything that you need. So the product backlog is in such manner that whatever projects that you want to do, you need to get the requirements. If you're about to cook jollof rice, I love jollof rice, by the way. You need requirements. What are the ingredients to cook jollof rice? You need rice, you need tomatoes, protein and all of that. So let's get the requirements for 10 lang. Yeah. So I'm going to be working with you and with everyone. I want this to be interactive here. So Scrum, Agile is not something that is just a buzzword. It's a mindset. It's what we do every day. It's synonymous to what we do every day. So I mentioned product backlog. And what is your product backlog? It's just like a to-do list. So let's create a to-do list for 10 lang. And I want us to do it. So let's contribute in the chat box below, and we're going to do this together in few minutes. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create an epic. An epic is to show that this is the project that we're working on. And with that, we can create the user story, which is the requirement for this project. So I'll just go ahead to create 10 lang, which is the epic that we're working on. And I've created 10 lang. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get my requirements. Remember that 10 lang is the project that we're working on. We want to build a mobile application where people can come and learn whatever Nigerian language is. Actually, you don't even need to streamline it to just 3 languages. Nigeria has a lot of we need to get the requirements. We need to get the ingredients for this project. Yeah. So what are the first things that we need to get? We need to start getting the requirements, and we have to create user stories for this requirement. So this is the fun part here. I know a lot of us use different apps on a daily basis, the socials, the Instagram, Facebook, your bank app, whatever app. Some people have apps to manage their blood pressure or exercise and all of that. So let's do this together. When you download an app on an iOS or an Android store, what is the first thing that you need to do? Those things that you need to do. First of all, you need to subscribe, or first of all, you need to sign up. Yeah, so you download an app, you need to sign up. Once you sign up, then it takes you to the login page. So let's do this together. We have all used app and we use it every day. So if we use applications every day, it's still the same format, but of course the different reason of creating the app. So let's do this together. So you go to an iOS store, an Android store, you want to download 10 lang. What are the first things that you need to do? So it shows you a screen or a pop-up that says you need to sign up. Yeah. So first thing that we need to do in creating this project is we need to create the sign up page. Yeah, so we create the sign up page. This is one of our requirements. I need to start getting everyone to be hands-on on this, because being a Scrum Master is fun, but you need to be hands-on on how to work on a project. So this is no buzzword. It's a daily activities that we do. So what next do you need to do? You're creating a sign up page. The next thing you want to do is after signing up, you want to log in. So we go ahead to create a login page. So Chukwemeka, please help me. I may be getting some persons who are following up with this and they want to give me their idea of requirements. So you don't need to be a tech person. We use apps every day. So tell me, what are the things that you want to see in this language app, or the things that should be there? Yeah. So create a login page is one of them. So after sign up, you log in. Then the next thing probably we want to see is you need to have a personal dashboard, a personal profile page. Yeah, some of these apps, you need to first of all create your personal profile page. So let's see how that works. We're creating a personalized, so let's say a personalized profile page. Yep. So I think we need to have like 5, and that would work with 5 today. So a personalized profile page. So after the personalized profile page, what else do we want? What other requirements are we putting in our product backlog? So we want to have a dashboard where you can select any language of your choice. So great. So let's create oh, sorry. I think something else has. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to create a dashboard. Okay, discard draft. All right, so I'm going to close this pop-up so that we can focus on the 10 lang. All right, so still back to our project. The next thing, after creating a personalized profile page, we want to see a dashboard. Yeah, create a dashboard for different language. Yeah, so then one more. What else? What else do we want to what are the requirements for this app? Let's think. What else do we want to see? We need 5. So the next thing we want to look at is, let's talk about authentication. Let's talk about password. So let's say you sign up, you log in, and at some point you forget your password. What do we need to do? So what should we do if you forget your password? We need to create a backend implementation for passcode resets. Yeah, that should work. A backend implementation for passcode reset. So you know that thing about, you forget your password and you click on forget password, it sends you a message in your email and all of that. So there's a whole lot of requirements, but for the purpose and the fact that we have a crunch time for this class, we'll have to just work with this 5. So now let's go back to our backlog, our product backlog. You can see this icon that I'm highlighting here. So we'll go back to our product backlog. Let's see what we've created for 10 lang. Let's see, I'm excited about this. Yeah, so let's see. We're working on a project called 10 lang, and we have created requirements for 10 lang. So can you see my screen? Please, if you have questions, you might want to write it down and then we can take it later. So can you see that these are the requirements we created for 10 lang? So there are other projects on my product backlog. As you can see, I'm working on other projects: the food delivery app, the dating app, the Tenally dates, the leave request. I'm working on other projects, but the project that we are focused on for this class is the 10 lang. So this is my product backlog items. These are the items in my product backlog. So this in the normal world, like when I say in the normal world, in your day-to-day activities, this can pass for your to-do list, saying this could be your pepper, your tomatoes, your oil, your rice, your whatever, because the project that you want to undertake is you want to cook jollof rice. So in Scrum, this is how it is. Your product backlog is your to-do list where you make a list of the items and the requirements for that project. So now we have our product backlog. We have 5 items in our product backlog. The next thing that we want to do is to, create a good description and a good acceptance criteria. Okay, it's okay that we have created the product backlog, the requirements are there, but what next? What do we need to do? If we say we want to create a backend implementation to reset passcode, what are the things that we need to, because these requirements are not for you or for your family and friends. These requirements are for users. So imagine you go to your bank app this evening and you want to make a transfer to someone and you're not able to do that. You click on the beneficiary because probably you saved the person's account number as your beneficiary, right? And you click on it and you're not able to perform the transaction, you're not able to send money to that person. Then what it means is that the app is not doing what it's supposed to do. So when you have your requirements created in your product backlog, one of the things that you want to do is to flesh out that requirement. The requirements we have for 10 Lang is saying that we want to create a backend implementation for passcode reset. So the first thing is that for a developer, remember that the Scrum team, okay, when I say remember, I feel like I'm talking to one of my classes, the students in one of my classes. So the Scrum team actually is made up of 3 people. We have the Scrum Master, the product owner, and the developers. Okay, so you're creating the requirements for the developers. The product owner is creating these requirements for the developers. And you don't just create the requirements for the sake of it. You need to be clear. You need to be concise. It needs to be readable. It needs to be simple. There are different criteria to show that, okay, this is what I want to do. So imagine this user story. A developer is reading this. There's nothing to, follow through. Create backend implementation for passcode reset. What am I going to do? So let's flesh it out. The first thing we want to do is we need to have a good description about this user story. So we're creating a backend implementation. So what I'm going to say is this feature, or let's say, so let's say this feature enables the users to click on their forgot passcode, the forgot password and re-enter their password. Re-enter their password. Re-enter their password to gain access into the application. Yeah. So that's what this is all about. Now, the next thing we want to do is to have an acceptance criteria, because the idea of having this particular feature on the app is that you usually see that thing when you're trying to log in into an application and it says email, password, and then beneath it, you're saying forgot password. So what you need to do is click on that forgot password. It takes you to your email and you follow up with the instructions. So if we're building this feature for 10 Lang, what do we need to do? How will the developer go ahead to code this? What are the requirements? What are the criteria to follow? So we want to write down this criteria for the developer to follow this criteria and ensure that the user story come out as expected. So we have the acceptance criteria. Now, what should be in this acceptance criteria? Meaning that what do we want to see in this feature? So the first thing we want to see the forgot, ensure that the forget passcode, ensure that the forgot passcode, which is that button that you see when you forget your password. So ensure that the forgot password, let me put it that way, is visible. Yeah, is visible to the user. So once the user forgets his or her password, you want to have a button that says click on forgot password or say forgot password. So ensure that the forgot password is visible. Another thing, what is the criteria for this feature? Another thing we want to look at is we're going to say that ensure that the forgot password is legible. Yeah, so sometimes when you go to some applications, the how will I put it? The way it is written, you probably see that it is written so small that you have to really look at it again before you know or before you get what they're saying. So we want to make sure that the forgot password is legible and is clear, is legible and clear. So we're building on the criteria. This is what the developer will work with. This is how to create this feature. So what else do we want to do? How do we want to ensure that this feature is created, is built? So we want to look at integrate the API, ensure that when user when user click on the forgot passcode, forgot password, I don't know why I said passcode, forgot password, it sends a message to their email. Yeah. So once you click on that button, it sends you a message to your email to impute a new password. So this is it. So I think we should have one more. What other criteria do we want to have here? What other criteria, if you forget your password, what other criteria? So once it sends that email, we should ensure that user receives the email, receives the email with a link to reset password. Yeah. So ensure that the user receives the email, and then inside the email gets a link to reset their password. So we're going with this four. There could be a whole lot more, but for the reason of time, we would have to go with this four. So now we have one of our user story fleshed out. What makes a user story? User story needs to be simple. A user story needs to be clear. So if I'm a developer and I come to this user story, the requirements are clear. What the product owner is asking the developer to do is clear. So now he knows what to do. He knows that he's going to build this feature based on this criteria. And he understands why. The why is the description. Why do we need an implementation for a passcode reset? I mean, it's okay to sign up, log in, but the tendencies that you forget your password is high. So why do we need it? So this is the why, and this is how we are going to go about to build this feature. So now we go back to our product backlog. Our time won't permit us to flesh out everything, but now we have our user story. We fleshed out our user story, and we need to have our user stories into the sprint backlog. So what is the sprint backlog? Look at the product backlog. Look at what we have on the product backlog. We have the sign up, create the sign up, the login, the personalized profile page. All of this is great. But before you pull them into the sprint backlog, you need to prioritize it. What comes first? What are we working first? And how do you prioritize? You prioritize based on customer feedback. You prioritize based on market demands. So if you're building an application, you want to look at what does customer need at the time. You want to prioritize based on, oh, this is the customer feedback. They are not able to log in on your app. You know, those feedback usually come when when you're trying to you want to download an application, you always see reviews. A lot of us do that. We go to the reviews. We want to read, is this app great? How many stars are people giving to the reviews? Is it 5 stars, is it 3 stars and 2 stars? So those reviews are great. So you're building your application. You want to put the things that will come first. So now I want to prioritize a product backlog. How am I prioritizing the product backlog? I'm looking at the skill set. Do I have the right skill set, enough skill set of people in my team to build it? Do I have the right resources to get these requirements done? So all of these discussions will happen with the product owner during the backlog refinement. We're looking at, okay, what are we prioritizing? What is the Scrum team working on? So to get to it, let's say we've had a backlog refinement and the product owner is saying, you know what, Josephine, this is a new application. One of the first things that we need to do is we need to create the login page, the sign up and the login page before any other thing. So the first sprint is going to see the sign up and the login page. So we're going to pull the sign up, this one, to create the login page, the sign up page, we're pulling it into the sprint backlog. Yeah. So again, I probably have someone thinking in their mind, just saying, how do you know a product backlog? On Jira, this is how you know a product backlog. When you want to identify a product backlog, you see this button that says create sprints. So I'm going to click on this button to create my sprint, because the first two things that we're putting on the Spring backlog is the sign up page and the create login page. Okay, so let's pull it from the product backlog. We're pulling this from the product backlog to the sprint backlog. So I just pulled the sign up page. So one more, let's go pull the login page. So what you basically do is pull and drop. Yeah, that's how it is. The software platform, the Jira platform is really very easy. So you pull from the product backlog and then you drop on the sprint backlog. So basically what I will do right now. So I hope everyone is following me and we are on this journey together to build 10 land. Okay, great. So I have two items on my sprint backlog. So this is how you identify a sprint backlog because it's giving me a button says start sprint. It's time to create this thing. It's time to have an increment. So at the end of the day, what is the Scrum team going to present? The Scrum team has a sprint goal. What is our sprint goal? The sprint goal is that at the end of a sprint, we are going to see with our eyes an actual login page and an actual sign up page. And what is the good thing about Scrum is that Scrum will work in iteration. We're not saying we need to do documentation first. After documentation, we now start working on the project. We now do the design and all of that. Scrum is saying we can work in beats. We can work in smaller increments. We can create value in beats. So every 2 weeks, based on the duration of the sprint, you're going to be seeing an increment. So just imagine for a bit that you're the owner or you're the brain or you're the sponsor behind this application. Every 2 weeks, the Scrum team is going to give you an increment. We're going to be demoing something to say what, we have agreed to build 10 lang as an application. But every 2 weeks, we're showing you this is the login page, this is the sign up page, this is what we have done. So instead of waiting for a whole 6 months, like waterfall, in waterfall, first of all, you want to do your documentation. Until you're done with a particular sequence, until you're done with a particular level, you do not go to the next. But in Agile, we are very flexible. We're saying, okay, what do we know? We're moving from the known to the unknown. You don't need to get everything ready before you start your project. A lot of us have great ideas, and at the end of the day, you're seeing your ideas in the market. You're seeing people, doing great things with your ideas. You're seeing companies pushing out products that are probably something you've thought of, but you're like, how do I go about it? It's still in the ideation stage. But with Agile, we are about fast delivery. Yeah. So imagine Zuckerberg had the idea of building Facebook, but he was still thinking about it. He was still drawing his plan. He was still, sketching and doing all of that. But someone else went ahead to how do you execute? You execute in bits. And you agree with me that those days when Facebook came, it was not as fine as it is today. It was not as beautiful. Even I saw something that trended, was it last week on Instagram? The Instagram interface when it was newly created. It was not as beautiful as it is. That's because in Agile, we don't want it to be perfect. We're not saying you need to have everything, have your documentation, move from ideation to documentation, from documentation to requirements. Before you know, it's taking about 6, 8, 1 year. The idea is that he who gets to the market first gets the chunk of the ROI, the return on investment. You want to get to the market first. There is no time. The fintechs are pushing out features in the market that are doing great. So by the time you're saying, oh, I'm waiting, let me go and research, let me go and do documentation, let me make sure that I've researched everything about this project. Another person with the same idea is executing using the Agile Scrum methodology, and everything is going on fast because the more you do, the more you learn. And there's something about the Scrum theory. The Scrum theory is based on empiricism, knowledge derived from experience. You don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. Yeah. So when you start a project, the tendency that things will change as you start, as you progress in that project is high. So with Agile, you're able to adapt to change. You're able to learn as you do. You're able to say, okay, I made a mistake, but I'm turning back. With waterfall, it's really difficult because remember that you're taking about 1 month to do your ideation, another 2 weeks, 3 weeks for documentation. Next thing, you're going about design. So let's say while we're building the project with Waterfall, and we notice that, oh, this thing is no longer in vogue. Users are not going to use this particular feature. That is 3 months, 4 months, or a lot of time duration wasted. You're going back to square one. But with Agile, we're able to make changes, we're able to inspect, we adapt, and then we release increments in bits. So yeah, I think this is where we'll sign off for the practicals. Hi, Chukwemeka. How are we
Hi,
doing
just
in
been
our 10th
fantastic.
land?
A fantastic one, fantastic one. I know some people in the chat box, they were saying at a point that how do I learn physically, that I'm new, I'm lost, and all those stories. But guys, just calm and chill for a while. We've got you fully covered. We're going to get there, right? So basically, what we just try to show you is not like show you the full class, or there's no possibility of you learning everything that a Scrum Master does over a period of time in just one class, right? The possibility is not really high. But what I try to show you is to show you the tools that these guys get to work with and how easy it is for them to actually, help and build products without having to do any coding, without writing any script anywhere, right? So, and I believe we all have seen what Josephine just demonstrated. So basically, what Scrum Masters do is to research on products and bring up everything that is needed with respect to that product and build their product backlog from where the product will now kick off, and basically they're going to start generating and building sprints with respect to that exact product. Like Justin have already mentioned, this is just like a product backlog, just to demonstrate in the slide. He already, demonstrated it in the proper Jira board where Scrum Masters actually use to build up their, board itself. But basically, what's product backlog? Like Justin have already mentioned, it's just like we had, product managers and the entire Scrum team create user stories of what they need for that exact product, right? Like Justin always like using the example of jollof rice. If you want to make a jollof rice right now, and what are those things that you're going to need for you to be able to cook jollof rice? So that's at the point now start mentioning you need your rice, you need your tomatoes, you need your peppers, you need your spices, you need your onion. So those things are the product backlog for you to be able to make jollof rice, right? So that's the same way that for us to build Lang, which is basically a language application, we need product backlog that are going to be things that is going to make and come up and stand as the exact language application that we need. And that's what Justin tried to demonstrate using Jira platform. And that has to do with user registration, profile creation, practice speaking. I know we didn't get to this point, and practice listening, right? So all these things are basically just, I think it just took me off sharing my screen again.
Okay.
Hi, just
Oh, sorry about that.
all right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
All right, cool.
I hear you. All right, so basically that's how you build up your product backlog. And Josephine has done an amazing job in showing us how to do all these things. So this is an example of a product backlog, of which is that's the platform that Josephine just worked in. And you as a Scrum Master, everything that you need to do starts with Jira, right? That's where you get to manage the entire Scrum process, the entire product building process. You get to do it here in Jira. And like Justin also rightly mentioned, there are so many other platforms, right? You have Trello, you have Confluence, you have Azure DevOps, which is basically the same thing. Once you learn one, you can easily use the knowledge from that exact one to advance the other aspects. So we've touched on product backlog. And next thing that I want Josephine to continue and let us round off with this exact area is sprint planning. Josephine, do you want to take it up from here, please?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about the sprint planning. The picture here basically depicts what the sprint planning is. So more like you're on the track, you're running, and you need to get to where you're going to very fast. So what is sprint planning? Sprint planning is that event that we facilitate what we want to do. So we plan, just like the word has said, we plan. And the word sprint, this word sprint was gotten from what we're seeing on this picture, that a lot of athletes, some of the athletes being on the track, and then they are sprinting. So sprinting is intense. You're running, it's fast, it's quick, it's intense. And based on the Scrum Guide is saying that the duration of a sprint could be from 2 weeks to 4 weeks, nothing more than 2 weeks to 4 weeks. So it is fast, it is intense. And what do we do in sprint planning? We plan around those requirements. You saw those requirements that I created, those user stories that I put in the product backlog, and then I pull them from the product backlog to the sprint backlog. Yes, so those things that we have committed that are currently in the sprint backlog, that is the things that we're planning around. Okay, how do we even build a login page? What are the things that we need? Remember, I had to flesh out the things in the implementation of the password reset. So those are the things that we look at when we want to plan. Is like what you do every day, more like what you do every day. If you want to do something, you say, okay, I need to have a goal for the week. And you need to plan around that goal. So it's not enough to create a to-do list and say, this week, I want to register for a Scrum training. I want to do this. I want to do that. Putting those things in your to-do list, which is the product backlog in Scrum, is not enough. You need to plan. The year has started, the 2024 year has started. It's a sprint. Everybody's running. By December, we sit back to say, okay, what have I achieved this year? So this is how it is. Agile is a mindset. It's basically what we do every day. So you create you put your requirements in your product backlog. The same thing you do at the beginning of the year. You have a to-do list and you're saying, this is what I want to achieve for the year 2024. I want to upskill. I want to move from the health industry where I'm currently working as a nurse or a lawyer, and I want to upskill into tech. I want to become a Scrum Master. So making those lists is not enough. It feels good, just like the New Year resolution. You're saying, I want to do great things, and you're putting those lists in your to-do list. You're putting those requirements in your product backlog. It's not enough. We need to plan. So how do you become a Scrum Master? How do you upskill from your current career path and transitioning into tech, and specifically being a Scrum Master? This is where sprint planning comes to say, okay, let's plan around it. What are we even committing to? So you could have like 15 things you want to achieve this year. But realistically, you need to break them down into Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. What are the most important? You want to prioritize that list. You want to do it, you want to go back to school, you need to prioritize what comes first, what comes second, what comes third. So same thing we have just done. Now we have prioritized what is really important at the moment. We've picked the login page, we've picked the sign up page, we've pulled it from the product backlog to the sprint backlog. And now we are planning. And we're, as a Scrum team, we're asking, what do we need to create the login page? Do you have a back-end engineer here? Do you have a front-end engineer? Is there an API requirement? What integration do we need to do? So we are planning. Basically, that's how sprint planning goes. So the next thing we move to is the daily Scrum. What is the daily Scrum? As a matter of fact, these are events that happen in Scrum. These are like ceremonies that must happen in Scrum, because these ceremonies are there to inspect and adapt the sprint. So now we have the daily Scrum. The daily Scrum is a daily activity. And we do it in our various traditional organizations. So these methodologies are not just what this lady is saying, it's so far. Remember, every morning, most mornings in organizations, it's either you're meeting as a team, you're meeting in your department to say, hey, what's up? What did we achieve yesterday? So more like you're giving an update of what you did or what you guys were able to achieve in a day, in a week within your department. So in Scrum, this same thing happened. Yeah, but within a time box. So in daily Scrum, we're giving an update. The developers are giving an update. Remember that we have a sprint goal. We decided that we are going to work on the create login page and create sign up page. So our daily, once we start the sprint on that place that I showed you, that button that says start sprint, immediately the Scrum Master clicks on start sprint. The race has started, literally, as though you are an athlete on the field. The race has started. It's fast. It is intense. But we need to inspect. So we have the daily scrum to say, hey, Josephine, what are you working on? As a developer, what are you working on? What did you do yesterday? So more like I'm saying, oh, I did this yesterday. This is what I'm going to do today. And it's a 15-minute event. Unlike your traditional organizations where you are in meetings and you guys are, overflogging issues and you're repeating the same thing. For the daily scrum, there is a time box. It's 15 minutes. No long story. We're getting to the reason and the goal for the event. What's the reason for this event? We're giving updates, very clear updates. If I'm giving my update, I'm saying, thank you so much. What I worked on yesterday was I created the front end aspect of the login page. But right now, I'm picking up those APIs today to integrate with the front end to, complete that feature. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You're done with the daily scrum. 15 minutes, everybody is done. So the next thing we move to is this next event, which is the sprint review. Yeah, so the sprint review is another event that shows what are we doing. We are reviewing the work that we have committed. Remember that we committed to two things, to create a login page and to create a sign-up page. So what do we need to do after building this? The developers have coded this. They have implemented what we need to do on those user story. The QA analysts have tested, and now we are demoing, we are reviewing it, we are showing it to the stakeholders. Yeah, we're saying, oh, stakeholders, come on, come all. Can you see what we have done? We've created the login page and we demo it. Like you can literally log in. It's no longer something in your idea, sitting in your idea. It is now an increment. It's now a value that the stakeholders can actually put their email address, impute their name, their password, and literally log in and literally sign up. Like they could do these things as though they are the end users, which in most cases, the stakeholders could be the end users, but you're showing them what you have done. So from there, we move to the sprint retrospective. What is the aim and the goal for the sprint retrospective? Is a time to introspect, to say with the team, and you're asking the team three basic questions. What did we do well? What went well? What didn't go well? And how can we improve? So we've just had a sprint, we've concluded the sprint where we've showed the stakeholders that we were able, on this particular sprint, we're able to create a login page and create a sign-up page. But we need to look back. You need to continuously improve the process because the Scrum theory is saying that you are learning through experience. Yeah. So we're looking at this sprint. Did it go well? Did we do well? Did we actually build this login page to the specification and taste of the users? Do they like it? Is it going to bring a return on investment? So we're asking critical questions and saying, oh, what went well? What didn't go well? And how can we improve so that the next sprint we're doing better as a team? And then we come to the release planning. What do we do in the release planning? After we have showcased to the stakeholder and say, oh, see what we have done. Great, we have a login page and they're giving us feedback. They say, no, nice one, well done. I can log in, I can sign up. You guys have done well. The next thing we want to do is to release that particular feature to the end user. So how does release work? You remember that thing that sometimes your phone automatically updates. Some people's phone automatically updates, or you're trying to, use an application and it says that you need to update. So it takes you to your iOS store or your Android store to update. Or sometimes you just see that your phone has automatically updated some app. What has happened at that moment is that there's been a release of a feature in that app. It could be a bug, it could be an enhancement, it could be that they released new features. So sometimes I usually get updates from my bank app to say, oh, we just released. Sometimes it could come through email. But when I'm trying to use the app, I'm trying to perform a particular transaction, it takes me back to my Android store to say, okay, you need to update. So that update that you see that happens to the various applications that you use is a release. So as a Scrum team, you can agree to say, okay, immediately after 2 weeks that we have completed a particular sprint, we are releasing this feature to the market. Or they could agree and say, okay, we are releasing every one month, every two months to make sure that we have enough features to release. So because normally if this is a new project, it doesn't make sense just releasing your login page. So if people log in and sign up, so what next? What's the app all about? It's going to be boring. What are you guys doing? So for a new project, you may agree and say, okay, we're going to be releasing every 3 months. So before the 3 months, we have enough features to be able to release that application. So that's what happened. In the backlog refinement is the discussion that I have with the product owner. So as a Scrum Master, before we pull those, remember those items that I pulled from the product backlog and I put it to the sprint backlog, that does not happen automatically. I want to have a backlog refinement meeting to refine, for I and the product owner to refine those items in the product backlog. What do we mean by we're refining? So remember, I created about 5 requirements. It could be a whole lot more than that. But I'm having that meeting with the product owner to say, you are the product owner. What are the most important things that we need to work on in this application based on market demands, based on customer feedback, based on different parameters? Do we have the skill set? Do we need a cybersecurity person in the team? Do we have enough experience and skill set in the Scrum team to get this application? So we are refining those items. And by the time we have refined it, we will now select and prioritize. It's okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 is ready to be worked on. These are what we will commit for this sprint. So these are the discussions that goes on during the backlog refinement. So once I'm done having this discussion with the PO, we get to the sprint planning, like I said, now plan around those committed items. Okay, so what other things are we looking at? Chukwemeka, you're the one sharing the screen now, so I'm going to be following your lead. Okay, so why do Scrum Masters earn more than project managers? They say this plethora of reasons why Scrum Masters earn more than project manager. And I just want to put this out there. That doesn't mean that some organizations do not employ project managers. That doesn't mean that the waterfall project is completely eradicated. No, what it means is that something is much more in demand than the other. And what it means is that organizations are willing to pay you so much based on your knowledge of Scrum methodology, Scrum framework, Scrum methodology, Agile, because they understand that that knowledge that you have will help them do one major thing: release faster to the market. So it's a game of money for stakeholders. It's a game of numbers. They are not building this application because they are emotional about it. It's numbers, it's money. A lot of people are putting billions of dollars and pounds behind all the application you see. That's a lot of money invested. So it's not applications. When you want to build a project, it's not something you're emotional about it and say, oh, I feel the need to help these people. It's great you want to help them, but some persons have committed money to this. And the idea is that you want to be the first person who takes the large market share. So it's not about, oh, I want to be emotional. This thing, you've seen a need in the society. You want to cover that need. And as good as it sounds that you want to meet that need by creating an application, building a software for that, you want to get to the very quickly. And what helps you get to the market very quickly based on the methodologies on ground is Agile. Yes, so Agile helps you deliver faster. We don't have time to dilly-dally. It's a game of who owns the market share. So I'll give you a very good example. In those days, one of the ways that you want to make a meal is probably to use firewood. And does it mean that people no longer use firewood to cook these days? People do. People still do. They want to, especially the jollof rice thingy now. You want to have that firewood smell and feel and all of that. But is that the fastest way, the quickest way, the smartest way to actually make jollof rice? No. So these days, you probably want to use gas. Even when you're in the kitchen, you want to buy things that things in the kitchen that will help your cooking very fast. That's how it is. We're in the fast world, and stakeholders, company CEOs, and all these Fortune 500 companies, large companies, they're thinking very fast. We need to get this. We need to have return on investment. How do we get it fast to the end user? So basically, the Scrum Masters typically possess specialized knowledge. You are a master of Scrum. You understand what it means that someone has an idea in their head and you pull out that idea in their head and take it to the market fast. So while the idea is still in the head of someone else, you're still thinking about it, you're still writing your market plan and requirements, you're still doing your mappings. In Agile, we're already working, we're already moving. It's already in the market. So by the time you wake up, you're seeing your idea with two legs in the market and they're making money. So as a Scrum Master, you are a master of Scrum framework. You understand what it takes to deliver increments faster to the market. Yeah. So you have specialized skill sets. To the next reason, I'm following your lead, Chukwemeka. So it takes us to the next reason, collaboration focused. A lot of us are actually doing waterfall in the current organizations we're working on. And what's that distinct fine line between a Scrum Master and a project owner? For Scrum Masters, the one of the characteristics of a Scrum Master is that you're facilitating and you're collaborating. For project managers, they are managing and they are coordinating. So if a project manager is on a project, he wants to know what is happening per minute, per second. More like you are micromanaging people. And we see this happen in our various organizations where it seems as if your supervisor is choking you, is almost, jumping into your mouth. Every minute is asking, just saying, what are you doing? Where are you? So, it's as if the person is everywhere. In Scrum, we are not everywhere around you because the Scrum team is cross-functional. The people who are in the Scrum team are professional. So as a Scrum Master, I don't need to be in the mouth and in the throat of the backend engineer. Say, what are you doing? What language are you coding? How are you doing this? How are you doing that? No, he's a professional. He was employed as a professional. So I understand that aspect of, as a professional, you can do your job and I trust you enough to carry out your job. So what are you doing as a Scrum Master? You're supporting the team, you're leading the team, you're coaching them in line with the Scrum framework and principle. You're also collaborating with them. So the master there, you're not a master of anybody, yeah? Because I see that some people get it misconstrued. You're not a master of anybody. That is the name. That is the name that is given. And if you go further to check, what are the characteristics of the Scrum Master? We're looking at someone who is serving, like a servant leader. There are different leadership styles. If you go online, you Google, what are different leadership styles? For Scrum, for Agile, the leadership style of a Scrum Master is being a servant leader. And who is the servant leader? You're offering service to the team. You're supporting them. You're coaching them. You're making sure that everything they are doing is in line with the Scrum principles and values. Because at the end of the day, we must have an increment and we must ship faster to the end user. We must get to that market very fast. Okay, so that takes us from collaboration to the next thing. Chukwemeka, what are we looking at again? Performance improvement. Scrum Masters play a pivotal role in improving team productivity, quality, delivery speed through Agile. That cannot even be overemphasized. Delivery speed, it has to be very fast. We don't have time to play. Customers need to. So imagine if you want to make a transaction, there's a need and you want to send someone money to somebody and the person needs the money now, maybe it's for operation or whatever it is, the person needs to get that alert now, and you keep making that transaction, probably it didn't go through and the person is calling you, what's up, I can't get the money, we need it now, you'll be frustrated. And the next thing you want to do is you're looking for alternative. You're angry with that bank. You say, I'm not using you. And I think this happened in Nigeria a while back, we were misbehaving, they were not going through and all of that. And that was the rise of fintechs. You could see, I don't want to mention names, but you and I know that at that point, some fintechs took over the market, that you're able to create your account in seconds. You're able to send money in seconds and get the receiver is getting alert that I've received the money. And that was like a change in market and all of that. So the traditional banks lost a large chunk of the market share to the fintech banks. Yeah. So faster delivery is one of the hallmarks of the Scrum framework. So we want to look at what else are we looking at again, Chukwemeka. What else are we looking? We're looking at adaptability and flexibility. As a Scrum Master, you are not rigid, you're flexible. So anything can happen. Users their taste could change, and it changed according to, sometimes your taste change. The taste or the things that you used to like last year is not the same things that you used to like this year, or things you used to like 5 years ago. As you grow, as your income, increases, so also your lifestyle changes. So things could change. So you start out and say, I want to build a language app to help people learn different Nigerian languages. And while you're building the app, you notice that there was a change either in the lifestyle of your target audience. Your target audience don't want to learn Nigerian language. They're interested in German and all those foreign language. So things could change as you work on the project. So basically what we're saying is that you use the Scrum framework, the agile methodology, for complex projects that requirements could change as you're building and working on that project. The government could make a law, pass a law, and say, you know what, we don't want any transaction in this, that, and that could, alter the project that you're working on. So it could change. With Scrum, with the agile methodology, you can adapt to change. So what's the next thing we're looking at? The next one we're looking at is leadership in self organization. So what is the Scrum Guide saying? I know I've been mentioning the Scrum Guide. I don't know what is the Scrum Guide. So you want to Google it. As a Scrum Master, you're being guided by the Scrum Guide, more of like a laid down principles that the Scrum framework should follow. So as a Scrum Master, you want to understand what the Scrum Guide is, because all the principles of the Scrum framework is inside the Scrum Guide. And one of it says that the Scrum team is cross-functional, the Scrum team is self-organizing and self-managing. Remember that nobody is a kid. Unlike the traditional companies where your supervisor does not trust your competence, does not trust you, wants to see everything you're doing at every step of the way. In Scrum, there are no children. The backend engineers, the software engineers, the cybersecurity analysts, the data analysts, they're going to be working. The sweet thing about Scrum is that as a Scrum Master, you're working with everybody, almost everybody in the cyber space. So you're working with different skill sets. As a Scrum Master in a Scrum team, you could be working with a DevOps engineer, data analyst, backend engineer, name it, all of these specialized tech areas. And the idea in the leadership is that you trust them to be professionals. They can manage themselves. They have the courage to take on any project and deliver that project. I'm not going to be on anybody's throat as a Scrum Master and say, show me what you did, tell me what I did, how are you doing it? And all of that happen in the traditional organizations. That doesn't happen in Scrum. You're employed as a professional and they trust you to carry out your job. So what's the next thing we're looking at, Chukwemeka?
Think that is all. I think that's all.
Okay.
Respect to this exact aspect of why Scrum Masters earn higher than their project managers. Yeah. Awesome. So basically, just do you want me to take it up from here?
Well, so what next are we looking at? The key reasons for selection?
Yeah, I think that you only have 5 key points with respect to why Scrum managers earn higher than project managers, right? So this is actually the last one pertaining to that area.
All right, let's talk about it. And I also want to talk about it and get to the Q&A section. I know some people are itching to ask questions, and that's more like my favorite aspect of the masterclass.
All right, so let me just quickly rush this slide. So guys, basically Justin has been saying a lot of things with respect to reasons why Scrum managers actually Scrum masters earn higher than project managers. And that is part of the reason why we've selected some of these courses for training in our own EdTech, right? And it's because of the ease of learning. I don't know if you were following Josephine when she was walking us through the Jira board, you'd easily see that these are things that you can do without having any technical background. You just need to be able to know how to think. So far as you know how to think, you know how to be able to, analyze things, you can easily learn to be a Scrum Master. I'm going to use a testimony by one of our past alumni. What she said was that she didn't have any tech degree, right, for her to be able to transition. The degree she needed to be able to transition is analytics, right? And it's because the courses we've selected to teach in our own program have ease of learning. and they have ease of transitioning, and they are also high and rewarding salary programs, right? So for you to be able to transition into being a Scrum Master, you are assured of three things. And number one is you have ease of learning, you have ease of transitioning, and you also have high and rewarding salaries attached to this exact role. Now, I'm going to come back to some of these success stories that we have, and these are testimonials of people that have been to this program, they've passed through the process, and they were able to start from the ground and get full-time jobs, and even able to get full sponsored visa across the globe in UK, in Canada, and anywhere you can actually think of. How people in Poland, how people in Canada, how people in US, and that's because they passed through our program. We even have like Temi is a lawyer that transitioned to become a business analyst, right? And Temi loved his time here at Analytics, most especially because of the way everyone is carried along. So you don't have to be scared of having. I'm seeing chats in the chat box saying, "Oh, I do not have any tech career. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that?" You actually do not have to be scared, because we're going to take you from the beginner stage to the expert level, right? So before I continue, before I finish this session, I'm going to play one of the videos from one of the our past participants, so that you can easily see and hear from them how they were able to navigate the exact terrain that you are trying to navigate in. Now, how can you get into the Scrum Master career path, right? Now, the Scrum Master program here at Analytics, just to have already explained critically what a Scrum Master does. And you're going to be using tools like Jira, Trello, Confluence for you to be able to collaborate with your team and track, stories and epics and the progress of your project. And if you browse right now, you're going to see that the average salary of a Scrum Master in UK is within the range of £52,500. And then in Canada, you have the rate between $74,000. And in US, you have as high as 85,000 US dollars. And one key area that you are going to learn once you join the program is basically introduction to Scrum. And this is where we bring you up from the beginner stage, right? We're going to brush you up. And why we start on that introduction to Scrum is because we have people that do not have any technical background, right? So that's why we collapse everybody to start from the initial phase. So even if you do not have any idea of how Scrum Master starts, any idea of what these guys do, you are still going to be brought up from the ground level to the expert level. So after that introduction phase, you now move to the Scrum team and artifacts, where you learn critically about product backlog that we talked about today. How do you formulate user stories? How do you put in everything that needs to be done in the product backlog? And from there, you also move to your increment and sprint backlog. How do you use this Jira board to collaborate with your other stakeholders? Because a team of Scrum makes up of, maybe you have your front end dev, back end dev, your business analyst, your data analyst, and so on and so forth. And everyone has to work on that exact Jira board. How do you do this? And from there, you move to the Scrum events, next week scaled Scrum. And of course, once you're done with this exact program, you should be able to prepare for your PSM examination. And our learning timeline is basically for 2 months, guys. It's just for 2 months, which is why I said Scrum Master is one of the easiest way to get into tech. Number one is that there is no code base or script writing involved. And number two is that you have minimum number of months for you to be able to transition. And truly, what we offer is that you have a 1 month in class, immersive learning, where you get to work with Josephine, work with our other facilitators in the space to be able to understand everything that is needed with respect to Scrum Master, right? And then after that 1 month intensive classroom learning, we now have a 1 month internship where you also get to work with real life projects. I think the project that our guys are currently working on is something that is tilted towards building a learning management platform, right? So these are things that you get to work with to be able to brush it off, so that at the end of your stay with us, you can comfortably say that, oh, I worked as a Scrum Master with Analytics and we're able to build a learning management platform. And I did this, I had my daily Scrum, I was able to build the product backlog, where I moved to the increment and the sprint backlog, right? And these are things that will equip you with to make sure that out there you have all the necessary skills to survive as a Scrum Master. Now, why should you train with us? Basically, here at Analytics, we have an achievement in the past year that is very, 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 very wide, right? We were able to help close to 1,000 people transition from the classroom into the tech ecosystem. And this is not just in Africa, right? It's in UK, US, Canada, Europe, and Asia, where we help these guys transition from their already existing job into the tech ecosystem. Now, why should you join with us? We have 5 basic reasons, 5 critical areas where we've pinpointed that our strength lies that you should be able to join with us. One is up-to-date curriculum, right? We always have up-to-date curriculum that mirrors what you get to experience out there in our classroom. So by virtue of you being in our classroom, you also get to experience what Scrum Masters are seeing in the field. Because you are going to work with experienced Scrum Masters like Justin that have the real life experience, that are going to, have classes with you that are also based on real life case studies. And these are industry experts with hands-on experience, right? It's not a class where they're going to come and telling you, okay, what is Scrum increments, what is Scrum artifacts. No, it's not a verbal class. You're going to be hands-on. You're going to learn the tools for it to be able to succeed. And of course, our training model is blended into 2 models, right? So that it can equip you appropriately with the one that suits you. The way Josephine taught you today, the way I'm talking to you right now, is the way that someone is going to be speaking to you once you are in class, right? And the person basically is going to walk you through everything that you need to do as a Scrum Master. And the sessions are live, right? On Saturdays by 11 a.m. West African time to 2 p.m. West African time. And on Sundays by 2 p.m. West African time to 5 p.m. West African time. And these sessions are recorded. So even if you miss any of the classes, you have lifetime access to them, that you can easily go back to them and rehearse or rewatch everything that you've already seen. And also provide with additional employability services that range to CV reviews, Upwork optimization, LinkedIn reviews, and so on and so forth. I'll still get to that critically. And our internship model is designed to stimulate the real work environment because we have experts from the industries. They bring in the case studies from the industry that are working in, and you also work on those case studies with them. So by virtue of doing all these 5 critical things that I've already pointed out here, you get to become an industry-ready tech professionals, right? Now, let me tell you in 3 models why you should understand and become. I'm coming, please, just a moment. Now, how we position ourselves for success in job markets. These things are layered in 3 approaches, right? We have 3 main approaches that once you conclude this approach with us, you are going to become a successful Scrum Master, right? If you complete these things with us, you are going to become a successful Scrum Master. And number 1 amongst them is our level 1. I don't know whether you can still see my screen. Please confirm you can still see my screen. Is my screen still moving? Please confirm.
No, it's clear. I can't see your screen again.
Okay. I'm trying to bring it up again. Okay, things going to happen there. All right, it's coming up right now. All right, like I was saying, I was trying to explain our additional employability services, which we've broken down into 3 main levels. And level 1 amongst these employability services is CV optimization, right? CV optimization. We get to look at your CV and help you review them and make you understand reasons why you've not been getting job invites, interview invites. Because the truth is that why some people struggle with respect to getting jobs is because they put the cart before the horse. And that's you getting certifications before getting the competence. And the tech ecosystem thrives on competence. Even if you have any certification that brings you to the table, once you're done with your normal verbal intake, next thing you're going to have is a skill assessment. And you're going to be assessed on the skill level that you have pertaining to how can you handle a Jira board? How can you be able to handle a conference board? And these are things that we get to put you through in our additional employability services, right? And we also have LinkedIn optimization, where your LinkedIn is, tailored to mirror the current role that you're trying to also get into. And of course, we have Upwork optimization for people that want to play in the freelance market, and we'll teach you how you get to navigate the job market. We have mentorship sessions every Thursday where everybody in the classroom, we bring in external alumni, people experts in the industry to talk to you on what to expect in the job market. And we also have job and interview preps where we get to prepare you for how to do and how to perform in interviews. And of course, recommendation and reference letters, where if you get a job or school invite or anything, we also provide you with recommendation letter that you've worked with us or that you've been with us for so and so years. Then level 2 is weekly mentorship session. So what we've done is to be able to provide you with mentors, because what we've noticed over the years is that people struggle to transition into tech because they do not have mentors, right? Some of us, once we hear, okay, we have MongoDB is out, all of us rush and learn, all right, to have Power BI, we rush and learn, but we didn't really learn through a mentor. And this made us to, rigmarole around the tech ecosystem for 2 years or thereabouts before we can easily get in. But because we've already made it possible for you to have these mentors, you have easy access to instantly transitioning from your exact role to a tech role, right? And we also provide on-the-job support that after you're done with us and 1 month into your job, you're still trying to find your fitting, we will help you to navigate that exact obstacle till you stand fully. And level 3 in this additional employability services is our promise to you, right? And this is because of what we've experienced over the years. 1 month after you're done learning with us, you are going to get 1 job interview, right? And this is an assurance. It's not something that you get to see everywhere. And this is from what we've experienced from our past students. It's a historical data that we've analyzed, that 1 month after each of our students are done learning, they must get an interview invite. And this interview invite, we also prep them for it to make sure they are ready to answer any question that comes to them. Now, some additional changes that we've made this 2024 is the body mentorship that I've talked about before, where we get to bring in people that have passed through this exact program that are currently working in 5-star jobs in amazing places to come back to the classroom and tell you how they were able to navigate this, right? So they're going to tell you how they worked, how they were able to have, maybe they had a schedule that's very tight, but they were able to navigate it. So they will talk to you in the language that you understand because they've, felt and experienced what you are going to experience. And about number 2 thing that we also optimize a new initiative for 2024 is our enhanced internship experience, where we get to provide you with massive data from industries that you get to work with, right? And these are real life case studies that you get to work with. And also we've partnered with industries like Robert Half, Harvey Nash, Michael Page, that after our students are done with their programs and their internship, they will be in a pool with us, right? So after these things are done, and maybe Robert Half just said, oh, I'm the Scrum Master for so and so role, we are going to easily send your CV across to them. And this is if you are able to complete the program, do your capstone project, do your internship, and be a full alumni of the analytics. You will exactly enjoy all this process. Now, let me move forward. I know I told you guys that I have an amazing discount for people that get to stay to the end of the session, and it is here. For the first 10 people that are going to join this program, they get to have a discount with respect to the pricing. The normal pricing for our Scrum Master program is $450, £375, and 540,000 naira, right? And then for the discount price, it is $350, £295, and 420,000 naira. And this is an amazing thing. And it is only meant for the first 10 people that register for this program, right? And what I've noticed over the period is that once we are done with these sessions, once we are done with master classes, these 10 slots are easily filled up. Even right there in the class, people start taking up all those slots. So I would advise you to secure your own spots so that at the point you're trying to make payments, you're not going to be told, oh, the discount price is over, I have to make the full amount. No. And how you can do this is by using the first payment option, right? You don't have to make the full amount the first time. You can make the first payment option of $250, or £200 or 300,000 naira. And 1 month into the program, you can make this other payment of $100 or £95 or 120,000 naira. I know this is an amazing offer that someone here is going to take. And trust me, you can take this to the bank or anywhere. You are not going to see this exact amount for any Scrum Master training anywhere in Nigeria, anywhere across Africa, anywhere across UK, across the globe. This is the best offer you're going to see. And it comes accompanied with other employability services that we also render to you. So this is an amazing offer for anyone that is willing to take it. And how do you make payments? You can easily click on this main stack option here. So once you click on it, I'm going to share my screen to explain this clearly. All right. It's coming up gradually. All right. It's coming up. So once you click on the link that my colleagues have dropped in the chat, please Lydia, try and drop it. She dropped the link. So once you click on that main stack link, it's going to bring you to this page. And on this page, you are going to see you have access to all the products that we offer, or they have all the programs that we offer. You're going to see it here. And their pricings, you are going to see it here as well. So once you make payments, maybe you want to make direct transfer to our Pounds Analytics account, Wise Bank, which is here. Once you make that transfer, we are going to see it. Or if you want to make a non-Naira card payment, maybe you want to make pound payments for Scrum Master, Data Analytics, Business Analytics, for any program that we offer, you can easily click on this link here and follow it and make payments. Then for Naira payments, once you click on this exact place for all programs, for Naira payments or programs, you can easily also see the payment option through Paystack, right? Or you can also make a direct payment to a Fidelity Bank account that is here, so that you will be recognized as paid. So once you are done making these payments, you will see an option here where you also upload your receipts, right? So it's very, very important that you click on this upload your receipts option, so that we can easily, contact you after you've made payments and send your welcome kit to you. So I don't know whether this is clear. My colleague has dropped this option, the payment option, in the chat box, so that we can easily have it. If you want to make Naira transfers, it's available. If you want to make pounds transfer, it's available there, right? So this is a lifetime offer. And like I said initially, once we are done with master classes, this 10 slots gets to be easily filled. So this is the best time for you to take advantage of it and be able to, capitalize on it and enter into the tech role of being a Scrum Master. Now, I know I promised us that I'm going to play one video before I'm done. So I'm going to play Ikmat's video. I'm going to play Ikmat's video so that we get to hear what Ikmat had to say. All right? I want us to get to hear what Ikmat had to say. Okay, my screen is coming up right now for us to see what Ikmat had to say.
Grammarly will ensure you feel confident nailing your final.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in 10 Analytics, and joining 10 Analytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that 10 Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You have people you can always go back to even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
Amazing. I know that we heard what Ikmat had to say. Ikmat moved from being a full-time stay-at-home mom to having 2 jobs from UK with full visa sponsorship, right? And she was able to make her selection. So when we talk about that, we have
Before we get started, I'd like to meet everybody here on the call. So if you don't mind, you could just, unless I forget, I also have this Chief Operations Officer for Analytics here on the call with me, and we'll be doing this together. That's Chukwemeka right there.
I need to end the video, right? You see playing our YouTube videos, right? And guys, once you get this slide, you can easily have access to all the videos that we have on YouTube, and you can go there and see all the testimonials from our past students, right? So you can easily be able to see what others had to say. So it's not as if I'm the one that is just talking. You are going to be able to see all these things from everybody that have passed through our sessions, right? I'm not going to play everyone's video, but this video is available for you. Like I mentioned initially, this discount is only available for the first 10 people to register for these classes, right? And it is better. I always advise people to try and take advantage of that first payment option, so that at the point that you want to make your payment, you're not going to hear, oh, the payment is completed. The payment is completed. So guys, this is the point where I open up the floor for you to, ask me questions pertaining to everything that we've said, so that I can easily respond to you and be able to, help in the best way necessary to help you transition into the tech ecosystem. So I don't know if anyone has questions, clarifications, or anything that what they want me to be able to answer. Hi guys, this is option for you to speak now. If you have any question, clarifications, or comments on anything, you can type it in the chat box, or you can use the raise hand icon and I'll ask you to unmute to speak to us. Hi Abiola, hi Bila Lawson, hi Chemeka, hi Taboe, hi Edward, hi Eta, hi Femi, hi Joshua, hi Ofwa, hi Ore, hi Senator Wisdom, Womis, and others. Please, if you have any question, feel free to type it in the chat box, or feel free to raise your hand and I will ask you to unmute. You have the floor, guys.
So I want this class to be really interactive. Yeah, I think we need to have more people speak up, ask questions. Are we having questions drop on the chat box? Oh
No, no,
yeah, there's one question.
yeah.
There's one from B. Lesson says, do I need to have project management skills to excel in Scrum? The straightforward answer is no. But then let's elaborate more on it. Why don't you need to have a prior project management skills? Is that you're going to be learning from the scratch about agile methodology, and then that will take you into the Scrum framework. And once you have that knowledge, once you're able to learn the agile methodology and the Scrum framework, you're good to go. Now, I think I need to add that you also do not need to have coding skills like Chukwemeka has reiterated before. I transitioned to Scrum from digital marketing, being a digital marketer and content writer, to being a Scrum master. So there was no tech experience, like zero tech experience, or I didn't even study. What I studied in school was public administration. And now I'm in the tech space and I'm part of the tech space, eating tech money. Yeah, I had to put that in. But yeah, so you don't need project management skills. Yeah. And again, I'd just like to say that there are soft skills that can be transitioned from what you're currently working on to being a Scrum Master. What are these soft skills? You've worked in several organizations, and that's giving you the leverage to imbibe skills like communication skills, listening skills, some other soft skills that can help you become a good professional Scrum Master. So, yeah, but just to give you a straightforward answer, no, you don't need prior project management skills to become a Scrum Master. Everything you need will be taught to you during the training, starting from Agile methodology to the Scrum framework and even other frameworks under Agile methodology. And we're also going to teach you the soft skills that you need to have. But I always tell people that as long as you've worked for one organization before, you are currently in a different career path, you have the needed soft skills to be a Scrum Master. So what's remaining for you is to learn the Agile methodology and you're good to go. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but let me know in the comment section below if you have more questions. So yeah, so let's see a vibrant class. Who wants to break the ice and speak up? Like, hey, hi, Josephine, hi, Josephine.
There's another question from Ore. He's asking if there's any similarity between Scrum Master and product design.
Okay, so to answer your question, Ore, I think that probably be wrong. That's sounding like a Yoruba name. So yeah, so there is no similarity between being a Scrum Master and a product designer. So as a product designer, you're using a different tool. Remember that I said as a Scrum Master, you're using a project management tool. It could be Jira, it could be Trello, it could be Azure DevOps. But as a product designer, you're using different tools. You're probably using Figma and some other software to design the product. But I definitely get to work with you as a product designer. So as a Scrum Master, remember I said you're most likely going to work with everybody in the tech ecosystem, sorry, which means that remember that product backlog where we drew up the requirements. Yeah, we need a product designer to design the user interface. What is the user interface? It's what we're all currently looking at. So the user interface is this interface that you can click to or mute to speak up, do anything you can see right now. That is the user interface. And that's where the product designer comes. So he brands the whole application based on the look and feel and the color and all of that. But there's no relationship between the Scrum Master and the product designer in terms of the skill set. Yeah, but do we all work in the agile environment? A capital yes, because you would need the product designer to design that project that we're working on. Yeah.
All right, fantastic answer there, Josephine. I don't know, Ore, I don't know that perfectly answers your question, or there's a thumbs up. So hi, Lawson and Ore, are you guys thinking of registering with the Scrum Master program? I don't know, you can, type in the chat box or you can raise your hand and I'll ask you to unmute, okay? And others, please feel free to, ask any question. Feel free to raise your hand so that I'll call you up to speak, all right? This is a free space where you get to ask questions and we get to also understand how to help you. Okay, I think there is a question in the chat box.
Chukwemeka, I think I spot someone in my WhatsApp group in this chat box. I'm excited about the fact that we have the same mindset. And so, Lostin says, I like your honesty about money being your motivation. It's mine too. So how soon can I land a great job and will your team assist with the process? Absolutely, yes. I'll leave will your team assist with the process for Chukwemeka to respond to. But then let's look at how soon can you land a job? So you can land a job based on your hunger. So the first thing you want to do is take the bold step to enroll for the next cohort, the next Scrum Master cohort, and you immerse yourself in all the courses that we're going to be teaching, just like Chukwemeka has highlighted. Now, I talked about hunger in the aspect of you can be a Scrum Master in 2 months. So 2 months, you go through the training, they take you through all the process, the LinkedIn optimization and all of that. Once you're done, we also prep you, the interview prep, because we need you to get past the recruiter, the employer, and finally get that job that says congratulations. But there are things that you need to know. There are specific questions that those interviewers are going to be asking you. So we'll prep you, we'll get you ready. But before prepping you, you need to understand the Scrum framework. You need to understand what it means to work in an agile environment. So let's say maximum of 2 months going through the training. And in the 3rd month, you should be landing your first job. Why did I use the should? Based on your hunger. Yeah. So we've seen people, have the desire to join the Scrum training cohorts class, and then they get into class and they are not following up with the processes. The hunger is, do you want to upskill from your current salary base to earning something in foreign currency, something higher in foreign currencies? Because personally, as a Scrum Master, I work remotely and I work with a foreign organization. And it feels good, yeah. So, but the money is good, the tech money is good, but there needs to be that part where you get your hands dirty, do the hands-on, learn everything. So I want to see that hunger. It's not enough to sign up for the class, but sign up and follow through all of what is going to be taught. And we assure you that you should be getting a job as soon as you're done with the class, because everything is packaged in that Scrum mentorship program that you will be signing up for. But I leave the other aspect to Chukwemeka to respond to.
Yeah, fantastic response there, Josephine. So, all right, perfectly answered by Josephine, right? Immediately, okay, that's Lawson that asked. Once you are done with your normal learning in the classroom, we take you through what we call employability services, where we get to review your CV, help tailor your CV to jobs. Because the reason why people struggle to get jobs is most of the time because they, number one, they put the cart before the horse, right? They try to get certification before they get the skill. But it's the other way around. You have to learn the skill, then seek for jobs, and then get certifications, right? And after this, we'll take you to the other one, which is helping you tailor your CV, teach you how to tailor your CV to each job application out there. Most people have trivialized applications that once they see an application on LinkedIn, they just click the easy apply option, So they're using one CV to apply for multiple roles. And this is a total zero in job application phase, right? So you have to be able to do what we call job match and be able to tailor each of your CV to the job role that's currently being advertised. And that is what's going to get you to the door. And once you are getting into that door, next is now to use the skill you've acquired at analytics to be able to wow the panel and get the role. So we'll have step-by-step processes where when you are currently doing your skill and competency learning, we are walking you through CV optimization, we are walking you through LinkedIn optimization, and so many things that's going to it's going to mold you into a full-face professional that can easily be able to stand in the face of any professional. So I don't know whether that answers your question, Lawson. Hi, Lawson. I don't know whether that answers your question perfectly. Yes, thank you. Amazing. So I know we have other people on the call. So if you want to speak to us, you are free to drop your question in the chat box. Abiola, Ayo, Chiemeka, Tabuwai, Eta, Joshua, Ofua, Ore, Samsung, you have asked question. Samuel, Senator, former Womis, Christopher. So if you have any question with respect to any of these things that we've talked about today, please feel free to talk to us before we get to call it a day. But before you go, before we call it a day, if you don't have any question, my colleague just dropped the attendance form. So please try as much as possible to fill the attendance, and you are going to get the slide for today sent to your email, and also the recording sent to your email. But this is only available to people that filled this attendance form, right? So please try as much as possible to fill this. Adam, my colleague, has dropped it in the chat box. So please engage so that we can send you every necessary details that you need to know. I don't know if there's another question from anyone, clarification, comments that we can take before we call it a day from here. Hi guys, I'm waiting. Any question from anyone? The discount is still 300K. No, the discount is 420,000. That's the discounted amount, but you can make 300,000 as the first payment, and this is going to get you into the classroom. Then 1 month into the class, you now get to make the other 120,000 naira. I don't know whether that's clear. So the actual amount is 420,000 naira, but then 300,000 naira is your first payment to get you into the class, and the second payment 1 month into the program is 120,000 naira. Remember, this is only accessible to the first 10 people that joins the program. Once that 10 slot is filled, the price reverts back to the full amount, which is 540,000 naira. So I always advise people, when we started this session, we are around 30 something, 40 something, and people are already making payments, right? So it's important for you to grab this initial offer and be able to make payments before the slot is filled and reverse to the full amount. I don't know whether that's clear enough for you, Ore. Hi, Ore, is that clear enough for you? How about a little flexibility payment plan? I'm interested in joining the class. Okay, yeah, that's possible, right? What I'm going to do for you is that I'm going to drop an email for you to send an email to, so that what can work for you will be tailored to you, right? Because we've had students in the past that they can make payments initially, but they want to show the view, say 3 installments. Yeah, that's possible. So what you will do, alright, is to send an email with what you want us to do for you to this elijah@analytics.org, and we are going to pick it up from there, right? So just send the email of what you want us to do, and we are going to respond to you and advise you on how to go about it. And this is available to everyone. And remember, once the first 10 slot is filled, the pricing goes back to the actual 540,000 naira, or $250, or £375. So it's always advisable for you to keep into the discounted amount and try to grab it while it lasts. Our next cohort is starting on 2nd of March. And if you are thinking, okay, I want to start in April, the truth is that by April, the price may not remain the same. So what I always advise people to do is to make payments in March while the price is the way it is now, and then do a deferral for 1 month, right? Once you do the deferral, okay, after you've made payment, once you are filling your receipt option form, you're going to state that, oh, I want to start in April, right? So with this, you're going to know that, okay, you made payment, you've reserved your slots, but you want to start your class in April. So this is a matrix where people have to, make payments with the current pricing while they join the class in futures. People in the capital market, that's what we call futures trade. So this is basically what you are going to be doing. You are going to do in futures trade, make payments in March, but you're going to join the classes in April, right? I don't know if there's any other question or clarification or comments from anyone. Hi, Ore. So we do not offer physical class, right? All our classes are virtual. All our classes are virtual. You're going to have a one-on-one interaction with someone like me because our facilitators come from amazing companies like Google, amazing companies like KPMG, amazing companies like across the globe, Microsoft. So they are not going to come physically down to Nigeria to teach you. It's 100% virtual, and it's going to be a one-on-one interaction, right? Where the classes are also going to be recorded that after the session, if you do not understand what's going on, you still have access to the video where you get to, rewatch and understand all the teachings that went on in the classroom. So you have lifetime access to that classroom where you can easily watch those videos as much as you want over and over. So even if you are on the job and you have a challenge and you remember, oh, I did this in the class, you can also, go back to those videos, watch it, and then implement what you want to do in your current job. So it's fully 100% virtual, right? Yeah, thank you, Ore. I don't know whether we have any question or clarification or comments from any other person. This class has been interactive with the help of Ore, Lawson, and I think basically it's just Ore and Lawson that has been giving me the vibe I need. Some other people are just so quiet. I don't know why. I don't know whether they don't like my face or whether they don't like Josephine's face, but please remember, Scrum Master is the easiest way to get into tech. The easiest way, the only way without any coding skill, and one of the cheapest way as at the moment. All right. Are the lessons recorded sessions or live? So the sessions are live, Lawson, right? You have classes every Saturday and every Sunday by 11 a.m. West African time to 2 p.m. and by 2 p.m. West African time on Sundays to 5 p.m. They are live sessions, but the sessions are also recorded, right? So you can also have access to the recorded version. So it's a two-way authentication, right? In case you miss it live, you have the recorded version. Even if you're in the classes for the live sessions, you can still go and rewatch the video so that you have better understanding. All right? Oh, fantastic one, Josephine, fantastic one. So I believe we've totally, cleared Lawson and Ore. For others that do not want to talk to me, just make sure to fill in the attendance form so that we can send the recordings and the slide after this session. Thank you so much, everyone. Josephine, I don't know whether I have anything to say to them before we call it a day from here.
Yeah, I just want to say some few words. I want to say that the economy we are right now, one of the way to get out of the rat race is to upskill. And like Chukwemeka said, that tech is the new oil. And whether or not we say all the things we want to say in this masterclass, you can verify these things for yourself. Go to LinkedIn and check how much is the Scrum Master earning, how much is this earning, and that should give you, for me, that was the motivation. Yeah, I said it before, that was the major motivation. The purchasing power is increasing. The expenses is increasing every day. So that way you want to increase your purchasing power based on what you're earning and you want to upskill. The only way out of the rat race in this economy of today is to upskill. So think upskilling, think tech, think being a Scrum Master if you don't have strength to code like me, and let's make more money. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Josephine, for that amazing closing remarks. So, guys, you are going to get this slide and the recordings if you fill the attendance form. So please, this is where we call it a day. Do have a wonderful night rest and make sure that I see you in class come 2nd of March. Take care, guys, and good night. Cheers.